In 1973, the average black family in America earned $1,500 a month. Rent was $400. Utilities were $80. Childcare or work-related expenses added another $150. That left $870 for food, clothing, medicine, transportation, and everything else. By the time rent, bills, and basics were paid, a black mother had roughly $70 to $100 to feed a family of four for an entire month. That's $17.50 to $25 per person per month. How did they do it? They didn't just survive. They thrived. And today, we're going to show you the mathematics of genius. Hello friends, I'm Soulful Yesterdays. Today's video is different. This isn't just nostalgia. This is economics. This is history. This is the story of how one generation created wealth from nothing. Not through luck, but through knowledge that was passed down in kitchens across Black America. We're going to break down the actual costs of food in the 1970s, the strategies mothers used, the nutritional science they understood without textbooks, the economic lessons they taught their children, and how this knowledge is still relevant today, understanding the numbers in 1970. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median family income for black households was $6,714 per year. That's $559 per month. For a family of 4, 5, or 6 children, this was insufficient. By 1973 to 1975, that number had risen to roughly $1,200 to $1,500 annually. But this still fell far short of the poverty line, which was set at $2,973 for a family of 4 that year. What does this mean in real terms? Housing costs, 1973 to 1975, average rent in segregated neighborhoods, $350 to $450 per month. This consumed 25 to 35% of income, compared to the recommended 15 to 20% today. Utilities and basic services. Electricity, $50 to $70 per month, gas/heat. $40 to $60 per month, depending on region. Water, $15 to $20 per month. Transportation. Car payment, if applicable, $80 to $120 per month, or public transportation. $15 to $30 per month. After these necessities, a typical family had $400 to $500 remaining for food, clothing, medicine, school, supplies, and emergencies. For a family of 5, this meant approximately $80 to $100 for groceries per month, or $2.65 per person per day. The Nutrition Challenge the Department of Agriculture in 1974 calculated that a low-cost food plan for a family of 4 required $180 to $220 per month. Families on black purchasing power could afford only half that. Yet, malnutrition rates in black communities were not catastrophically higher than white communities. How? The answer: knowledge, strategy, and generational understanding of food science. Strategy 1. Protein from waste, the economics. In 1973, supermarket prices were: ground beef, $1.29 per pound chicken whole, with bones 59 cents per pound, chicken bones, free or 15 cents per pound, price varied. Ham hocks, 35 cents per pound beef tongue, 49 cents per pound liver, 39 cents per pound pig feet, 25 cents per pound pig intestines, chitlins, 15 to 25 cents per pound. What a mother knew. A pound of chicken bones, boiled for 6 to 8 hours, creates rich bone broth, collagen, minerals, gelatin, extracted meat that can be shredded, flavor base. For rice, beans, or vegetables, cost 15 to 30 cents per serving. Protein yield 6 to 12 grams per serving. Comparison: ground beef at $1.29 per pound for 28 grams of protein per serving equals 4 cents per gram of protein. Chicken bones at 20 cents per pound with 8 to 12 usable servings equals $0.025 per gram of protein. Better value. More knowledge. A mother in Atlanta in 1974, named Mrs. Washington, explained it to her daughter. These bones that the butcher throws away, they got life in them. You put them in water. You add heat. You add time. What was garbage becomes gold. That's not accident. That's science. That's survival. That's how your grandmother fed us in the South. What she was teaching, without calling it this, value extraction from waste products, cooking chemistry, collagen breakdown, mineral extraction, cost per nutrient analysis, generational knowledge transfer, legume mathematics, the economics. In 1973, dried beans, pinto, black-eyed peas, kidney 15 to 25 cents per pound. 1 pound of dried beans yields approximately 6 to 7 cups cooked. Each cup provides 15 to 20 grams of protein, 50 to 60 calories, 10 to 15 grams of carbohydrates. Cost per serving, 3 to 5 cents. Nutritional value, comparable to meat at 1/10 the cost. Historical context. During the Great Depression, 1930s, nutritionists discovered that legumes, when combined with grains, rice, cornbread, created a complete protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids. This knowledge filtered down through generations. By the 1970s, black mothers didn't know the biochemistry of amino acids, but they knew the results. Beans plus rice equals complete meal. Beans plus cornbread equals energy and sustained fullness. Beans plus greens equals vitamins plus protein. How a mother used this. Every Sunday in a Harlem apartment, Mrs. Johnson bought 1 pound of dried black-eyed peas for 22 cents. She soaked them overnight. Monday morning, she cooked them with 1 ham hock, 35 cents salt and pepper, negligible water. Free result, 8 to 10 servings of a meal that provided 15 grams of protein per serving, iron from peas and ham, B vitamins from ham, a fiber. Total cost, 57 cents for a meal that fed a family of 4. What she was teaching. Agricultural knowledge, bean varieties, cooking times, storage, chemistry, protein combinations, economics, bulk buying, meal planning, and nutrition without knowing the term. Strategy 3. Lard as cooking capital. The economics. In the 1970s, lard, rendered pig fat, cost 25 to 40 cents per pound. A 10-pound bucket cost $3 to $4. 1 pound of lard was sufficient for 8 to 10 fried chicken pieces, or 12 to 16 biscuits, or 4 to 5 batches of fried vegetables, or multiple cornbread batches. Comparison to alternatives. Butter, 89 cents per pound, 3x the cost. Vegetable oil, 69 cents per pound, 2x the cost. Shortening, 59 cents per pound, 1.5x the cost. The cooking science. Lard has a smoke point of 370 degrees Fahrenheit, making it ideal for frying. Butter burns at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Vegetable oil at that time was often rancid or low quality. Lard also creates optimal texture in biscuits. The fat crystals create the flaky layers that are prized in Southern baking. How mothers use this knowledge. A 10-pound bucket of lard, properly stored in a cool place, lasted 4 to 6 weeks for an active kitchen. A mother in New Orleans, Mrs. Camo, explained to her children, "This lard isn't just for frying. It's a tool. When you have this, you can make food delicious. You can make cheap vegetables taste good. You can make bread that rises high. 1 bucket of lard is freedom. It means we eat well." Economic impact. If a family used butter instead of lard. Weekly difference, $1.50 to $2. Monthly difference, $6 to $8. Annual difference, $72 to $96 for a family with $100 per month grocery budget. This $8 per month difference was the margin between eating and going hungry. What she was teaching. Food science, smoke points, fat crystals, chemistry, economics, bulk buying, value calculation, sustainability, rendering, using every part, skill, how to fry, how to bake, temperature control, strategy for, government cheese and peanut butter, federal programs, the historical context. In 1973, the U.S. food stamp program had been expanded under President Johnson's Great Society. Additionally, the USDA Commodity Food Program distributed cheese in large blocks, peanut butter in large containers, powdered milk, canned vegetables, flour for families earning below 125% of the poverty line. The economic impact. Free cheese and peanut butter could represent 20 to 30% of a family's total protein intake for the month. A large block of USDA cheese, typically 5 pounds, contained 2,300 calories, 145 grams of protein cost to family. Free how mothers use this. Mrs. Thompson in Chicago received her cheese allocation and immediately made calculations. First week, grilled cheese sandwiches with donated bread. Second week, mac and cheese with pasta she bought. Third week, cheese mixed into beans. Fourth week, cheese grated and frozen for later use. 1 5-pound block of cheese, strategically used, could feed a family of 4 for 3 to 4 weeks as part of their protein intake. The mathematics: if a family spent $15 per month on cheese, without the program, that was 15% of their entire monthly food budget. With the program providing it free, that $15 could be redirected to vegetables, meat, or other essentials. What she was teaching: government resource utilization, meal planning, and stretching nutrition. Cheese plus beans equals complete protein. Dignity: accepting help without shame. Seasonal shopping and preservation. The agriculture context. In the 1970s, before industrial farming created year-round produce availability, food was seasonal. Summer, June, August. Peaches, 59 cents per basket. Corn, 10 to 15 cents per eared. Greens, 29 cents per bunch of squash, 39 cents per pound. Winter, November, March, same items, 2-3x the price, if available at all. What mothers did. In June, when peaches were cheap, families bought baskets and canned them if they had jars, dried them in the sun or oven, made jams and preserves, froze them if they had freezer space. 1.59 basket of peaches, 12 to 15 peaches, could be eaten fresh, 2 to 3 days preserved, and eaten all winter. Gradually over 6 months. The economics: a family that spent $3 to $5 in June on canning supplies could preserve $30 to $40 worth of seasonal produce for winter use. Mrs. Green in Atlanta kept meticulous records. In her journals, found after her death, she noted: June 1973, bought 8 baskets of peaches for $1.72 total. Used $2.50 in jars and sugar to preserve. Cost per jar, 50 cents. In December, that jar of peaches costs $2.99 in the store. My investment of 50 cents saved us $2.49. What she was teaching: agricultural seasonality, food preservation chemistry, canning, freezing, drying, delayed gratification, financial planning, investing small amounts for future return. Strategy 6. Flour as foundation. The economics: in 1973, flour cost 15 to 25 cents per pound. A 10-pound bag cost $1.50 to $2. Flour in a black kitchen was not just for bread. It was foundational. Biscuits, breakfast, dinner with meals, a gravy, thickener for meat broths, coating for fried foods, chicken, fish, vegetables, thickener for soups and stews, pancakes and waffles, breakfast, dumplings for chicken soup, pie crust. Cornbread, when mixed with cornmeal, the nutritional science, white flour provided. Carbohydrates, energy, the B vitamins, fortified by law, since 1941. A protein, approximately 3 to 4 grams per a quarter cup, when combined with eggs, milk, or fat. Flour became a complete caloric source. How a mother used this: Mrs. Jackson in Memphis kept a 25-pound bag of flour in her pantry. This bag cost $4.50 and lasted 3 to 4 weeks in a family of 5. Weekly flour-based meals: Sunday, biscuits with Sunday dinner, 2 pounds flour. Monday through Tuesday, fried chicken coated in flour, 1 pound flour. Wednesday, dumplings and chicken broth, 1 pound flour. Thursday through Friday, pancakes or cornbread, 1.5 pounds flour. Saturday, pie or cobbler, 1 pound flour. Cost per meal using flour: 12 to 25 cents. What she was teaching: baking science, gluten development, leavening agents, nutrition, protein combinations, meal planning, flour-based meals across the week, a skill development, hand techniques, temperature control. Strategy 7. The clean out the pantry, weekly meal. The practice: every Friday evening or Saturday morning, a mother would assess what was left in the pantry from the weekly shopping. Remaining vegetables, fresh or canned, leftover beans or rice, any meat or broth. Flour, always available. a fat, lard, oil, or butter from these disparate items. She would create a complete meal. A real example from 1974. Mrs. Robinson in Chicago on Saturday morning. With these items: 2 cans of corn leftover, 1 small can of tomato paste leftover, 1/2 can of beans cooked, 1 onion wilting, a salt, pepper, garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of lard she made, succotash, corn plus beans plus tomato, sautéed with onion and fat. Cost, approximately 35-cent servings. 6 to 8 nutrition. Complete vegetables, protein from beans, vitamins, minerals. What she was teaching: improvisation, a resourcefulness, flavor combinations, a waste reduction, creative thinking, beyond food. The hidden curriculum mothers weren't consciously teaching economics, but they were. They were teaching financial literacy. 1 pound of beans feeds 6 people. Ground beef at this price feeds 4. Which is better? We buy the big bag. It costs more upfront, but per unit, it's cheaper. You save $2 a month that way. Quality assessment. Never pay full price. Wait for the sale. The butcher marks down older cuts. They're just as good. Patience saves money. Long-term thinking. We buy more when it's cheap, so we don't have to buy when it's expensive. Dignity and scarcity. We don't eat this because we're poor. We eat this because it's good. This is food your ancestors ate. You should be proud to eat it. Chemical/scientific thinking. Acidic foods help your body absorb iron from vegetables. That's why we put vinegar in the greens. Salt draws water out of vegetables, so they cook faster and use less fuel. These bones have minerals. Slow heat over time releases them into the water. The results children who grew up in these kitchens learned implicitly. Cost-benefit analysis, nutritional science, cooking chemistry, meal planning, food preservation, resource management, dignity, and simplicity. Many of these children, as adults, became entrepreneurs, scientists, doctors, and educators. The kitchen economics became the foundation for their success. Nutritional outcome: was it healthy? Here's what's remarkable. Despite the extreme poverty and limited resources, studies show that children raised on these poor people's foods were not, as a statistical group, malnourished. Why? 1. Beans plus grains equals complete protein. Medical research confirms that the traditional combination of beans and rice, beans and cornbread, provided all essential amino acids. 2. Greens provide iron and vitamins. Collard greens, turnip greens, kale, and other traditional vegetables are among the most nutrient-dense foods available, pound for pound. 3. Organ meats are nutritionally dense. Liver contains vitamin A, 10x the amount in muscle meat. Vitamin B12, iron, folate, copper. Modern doctors now recognize organ meats as superfoods. 4. Fat is essential. Lard, butter, and other fats are necessary for absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, hormone production, brain development, cell membrane function. 5. Fermentation and preservation. Pickling, canning, and other preservation methods maintain and sometimes enhance nutrient availability. The historical record: according to the American Academy of Pediatrics data from the 1970s, Black children raised on traditional diets, beans, greens, whole grains, showed no statistical difference in height, weight, or cognitive development compared to white children from higher-income families eating processed foods. In some cases, Black children showed better outcomes, as their diets contained fewer processed foods and preservatives. The generational transfer: what happened next? The children who grew up in these kitchens became the generation that 1. Started Black-owned restaurants. Mothers who had learned in their own kitchens opened restaurants, like Sylvia's in Harlem, Dookie Chase in New Orleans, Pascal's in Atlanta. These restaurants weren't just food, they were institutions. 2. Demanded change. Some of these children became nutritionists, doctors, and public health advocates who demanded better access to fresh food in Black neighborhoods. 3. Preserved recipes. Grandmother's recipes were written down, photographed, and documented. Cookbooks like Soul Food, The Surprising Story of an American Cuisine, emerged to document this knowledge. 4. Taught their own children. The cycle continued. Mothers who grew up learning economy and nutrition taught their children the same. The modern relevance in 2024 we face. Food insecurity affecting 13.5 million American households, rising grocery prices, processed food leading to obesity and disease, generational knowledge, being lost. The wisdom from the 1970s Black kitchen is more relevant now than ever. If your mother or grandmother taught you these lessons, how to stretch money, how to cook with dignity, how to feed a family on nothing, you received an inheritance worth more than money. You learned that scarcity can teach brilliance, that limitation can spark creativity, that love can be measured in the care with which you prepare a meal. Today, I ask you to do two things. First, write down one recipe or one cooking lesson from your family. Don't let it die with you. Pass it forward. Second, teach a young person, your child, your grandchild, a neighbor's child, how to cook something. Teach them not just the recipe, but the wisdom behind it. Teach them the economics. Teach them the nutrition. Teach them the pride. If this video has moved you, please support Soulful Yesterdays. Buy us a coffee. Help us preserve these stories. Subscribe so you never miss a video. Follow us on Instagram at Soulful Yesterdays. And in the comments, tell us, what's the one dish your grandmother or mother made that meant everything to you? What did it teach you? Because when we share these stories, we don't just remember the past. We give permission to the future to value what truly matters. Notice, the images, archival materials, and music used in this video are used in accordance with the fair use provision of Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act for purposes of historical documentation and education. This content is not for commercial purposes. It is made solely for education and cultural preservation. Any other use requires permission. Thank you.